Good morning, Keller Williams, and welcome back to the KWRI 66-Day Challenge 2.0, and today is day 17. So yesterday we introduced you to the HeatSeeker tool and talked a little bit about the algorithm and where to find the HeatSeeker recruits in both your recruit management and recruit pipeline tool. Today we're going to talk about a report that analyzes how well you are doing with correspondence to your HeatSeekers. So we're going to click on reports inside of CommandMC, and the first report that pulls up inside of this applet is our HeatSeeker report. Now this is our demo RTT test account, if you will, so it's not actually connected to a market center. That's why we're getting 0 results here. But I did want to show you that this is what the report would look like. And at the top here you would see some metrics with regards to 5 key items, actually 6. So typically it's going to tell us how many recruits have been created. Now, just so that you know, HeatSeekers are actually automatically pulled into your CommandMC account. So if you've never used CommandMC recruits and you go in and all of a sudden there's a bunch of data in there, that's because KWRI is automatically feeding those recruits and that data into CommandMC on your behalf. So it'll tell you, based upon whichever filters you have selected, how many recruits have been created within typically that date range. And you can see you can filter by date range. This tool is also available at the regional level. So from the regional level, if you decide, you can actually filter by specific market center. If you're at the market center, then it'll be locked to just your market center. But then you can also filter by production status. And what essentially is being tracked are the activities you're logging around your calls, and then how often you're moving that recruit into the appointment set, appointment held, and joined stages inside the pipeline. So we'll take a look at that in just a second. But down here at the bottom, you can see calls dialed. So typically there would be a number here, 2, and then the number of recruits. So it not only tracks the first call logged, but any additional calls as well. So if I make 5 calls to 1 recruit, I would see 5 calls dialed to 1 recruit. Same thing for answers, appointments set, appointments held, and then joined. Obviously we can only account a recruit once, so that's the only place where that would not hold true. So how do I get these numbers to start increasing from 0? Well, if we go back into our pipeline, we've got Hank Hill, our fictional R2 HeatSeeker recruit. If I click on Hank's information here, I can go into the timeline and I can add an activity. When I have that opportunity, I can come in and choose call as that interaction type, and then I need to select the outcome. If I select answered, I will get credit, if you will. I use air quotes around that word. Credit for both a dial and an answer. So in our dash report, that acronym stands for dials, answered, set, and held. If I choose answered, then I get credit for both the dial and the answer. And I would want to make sure I log the date. You can see we can go back in history as far as when we made calls, so they don't always have to be logged the day you make them. And I can put in a description of the actual call. Now, if I select anything other than answered, so no answer, left voicemail, do not call, these 3 options, then I would only get quote unquote credit for a dial, but not an answer. So when we look at the report, dialed and answered comes only from logging the activity. Now, I have had some leaders that I've worked with who accidentally were logging all their calls inside of notes. CommandMC reporting can't read your notes, but it can read your activities. So that's how you get credit for your dials and your answers. And then if we come back to the pipeline, if we move Hank from the active recruit phase into the appointment phase, and you can see I can drop Hank there. Once I move Hank into appointment set, oops, looks like it didn't get moved over, but you can see marges here. Once any recruit that's a HeatSeeker has been moved into appointment set, you would get credit for appointment set. Once you move that HeatSeeker into appointment held, then you would also get credit for the held. Now, obviously, you would need to come in and fill out the pop-up around the appointment, who conducted it, what type of appointment was it, when was it conducted, and then choose to add your notes or any additional attachments. That's how we get credit for the dash report on the S and the H. I've got to drop it in set, I've got to drop it in held, fill out the information around held. Now there's no specific time amount that the recruit needs to be in this phase. They just need to be in here at least once. So appointment was set, appointment was held, the appointment goes well, then we can move them to the committed phase. And once they're in committed, it's moving them to finally the joined stage of the committed phase. This is when we get to do all the paperwork, invite them to the market center, get them all set up and ready to run. That's where you would get credit for the final joined box here. So that is our dash report. Now this is only tracking heat seekers at this time. It's only tracking the activities done on heat seeking recruits. It logs again your activities created around dials, and they need to be call-based activities that are logged. Again, an answer gets credit for both. And you can see there are little tooltips here, right? Whoops, that's not a tooltip. But you can get more information about this inside of the answers article, which I'll also post inside of the challenge spreadsheet there at CommandMC and 66days.com. That's it for today, guys. Your dash report, how that information is tracked and logged. And tomorrow we're going to talk about how the heat seekers actually get brought into CommandMC. And if you're not seeing the numbers you want, or maybe you're seeing too much, how to make changes to that. So stay tuned for that. As always, great talking to you guys.